on, Philip, pushes me.
I don't want to fuck it up for you.
Okay.
No, you'll be quick. Powiedz mu, żeby na następnym zjeżdżał, nie?
Leszek mówi na następnym.
Teraz żeby zjeżdżał. Jak nikt nie zjedzie przed nim, to niech zjeżdża. Nie słyszycie?
Nie słyszę cię.
Jego słyszysz? Chodź teraz. No, niech zjeżdża teraz.
Zjeżdżasz? Zjeżdża, zjeżdża.
Tak, niech zjeżdża.
Zjeżdża, zjeżdża, jedź. Spok.
Really closing fast, and there's been more changes.
Which is Polish Lambo in the meantime have dropped. No, have they come in the pits? Polish Lambo, I think, might be in the, as you say, they are in the pits. Fuel stop now happening. So Polish Lambo, the first to opt to pit, so they've decided to blink first and hope it works out a bit later on. So we'll just see what their lap time is. I normally refer to that in the commentating as a pit stop lap.
Doesn't look like the best pit stop in the world. It's a bit of limbo car chasing around and all that. I mean, no, not coming over, but it just looked like a little bit of pit stop down there.
Yeah, with Greg Paulick pushing Phil down. So this is when they're going to try and fire up both banks of those the twin-powered GX160 power plants that are chain-driven on the back of these cars. And their pit stop lap time 1 minute 47.9. Not too bad. I've seen 2 minute swells last round, Ben, to be honest with you. But that's when they've had to change, you know, take out the lead weights, change the seat fitting out as well. Because in RHBK, the method to the madness is, well, one size will fit. All sizes do fit, not just one size. So Lambo Racing also, I think, are in. Yep. So Lambo Racing, and also we've got the number 31, I believe. Yeah, which is KA Racing. So still up on the Charlie Jackson minutes. So Jeff getting out, slamming on the anchors there, and it sends it a little bit sideways. So Joe gets behind the wheel and off he goes. See what they're lapped. 1 minute 47.2. So again, a very respectable stop. Quick pit stop laps normally are around the sort of 1 minute 40 to 1 minute 47 bracket. So a fairly decent stop there. So Wayne's cheeky monkeys seem to have tailed off a little bit. I think they've got fed up of slinging their bananas at the rest of the competition to get them out of the way. But that's another story. They've dropped about just over a tenth of a second to HRS1. So we're now into the second hour of this final round of the 2018 RHBK Championship. Helicopter services lead from Custom Rods by about 11.7 seconds. So maybe the tyres, I think, might be going off, or maybe Mark's probably doing a bit of conservation, I think, really, to help get the car to the end bit.
Potentially, I think traffic as well, like you say, it's so hard. I mean, when you're in the lead of the race and you get to a certain point in the race, you tend to get potentially a bit of a quicker acknowledgement from, say, you know, the back markers, not back markers, but the clubmen that you're coming to lap. Being in second, third and down, you know, you don't kind of always get the same treatment. So it is one of those things, it's just minimising time lost through traffic, and I think Stu Allen in Helicopter's just doing a great job of getting through the traffic. And looking at the lap times, I'd say him and Mark are very closely matched when they're in clear air. It's just through the traffic, it ebbs and flows. 1 minute, we'll probably look back there in 10 minutes time, that gap could be back down to 9 seconds, so we'll see.
And in the meantime, DAD are closing on second position as we speak. So the number 2 at Custom Rods is now 2.1 seconds ahead of DAD Racing, who started 26th, are now in third position. So at the moment, in terms of the top 5 in Super and Clubman, Helicopter Services lead, Custom Rods second, DAD third, Euro Lambo and HRS1 in 5th. Complete the top 5 for Clubman, Super. Sticky Monkeys lead Clubman at the moment, ahead of Artifex, who have got the advantage at the minute, ahead of Zingray Racing. Rounding out the top 5 is Burton Power Racing and CSM Lambo. Polish Lambo in the meantime have moved up, as KO Racing, I believe, have just pitted.
I can see Wayne's Cheeky Monkeys getting ready for a pit stop as well.
Oh, yes, and I recognise the livery of one helmeted driver in there, and that is a very, very quick Lee Kemp. Had a great chat with him after the last round, talking about mental health, which I myself have had problems with in the past. Lee's had that as well. We've now made some significant changes in our lives, so thank you for him for taking that time. It was about a 15-minute conversation, but looking forward to seeing. He's just wiping his feet on the wet tarmac. What's well, at least if they're metal pedals, Ben, it won't make that much difference, will it?
He'll be sliding around a bit, but all good.
So, and also looks like Euro Lambo are getting ready for a change, with Nick Divers ready in the pits in his lovely pasteurirised race suit. So if Daryl Lowe is Flynn, Nick Divers is definitely Clue. And
Wayne's Cheeky Monkeys are in the pit lane. They're in the pit lane, so they're coming up for their stop now. See how this goes.
yes, as Wayne Edwards. Oh god, he looks like an extra from, looks like Rocky Balboa's stunt double running down there. God. Yeah, last year's RHBK 2017 Keyboard Warrior of the Year. I wonder if he's going to retain that title for another year. Oh, we've had a contact warning in the meantime. Custom Rods. Might have been with backmarker traffic, I believe. So Wayne's Cheeky Monkeys in the pits. They're fueling, so Lee's just getting, I think, a couple of bit.
Aaron White BAD is slowly but surely bringing in Mark. So yeah, maybe Mark is going for that phase of the race where struggling for a little bit of grip. Aaron's still on an absolute mission, and that gap is slowly coming down a couple of attempts a lap at the moment.
Well, I think also one other factor that I have to consider here, Mark being ill last round, meant that he lost seat time. He took a month's hiatus, he then came back, wasn't too well, as Lee Kemp now goes out for Wayne's Cheeky Monkeys. And that was a 1 minute 47.2. Nice job by the Cheeky Monkeys, throwing nanas all over the place. And with, looks like Rocky Balboa running down the pit lane. I might have to do it. Yo, Adrian! Oh, sorry, I already did it. And he has been the butt of all jokes when he sent through a little bit that I played on the tannoy a bit earlier on, which he said, we don't need wets. Well, we don't need wets at the moment, Wayne, because it is dry. But all I'm going to say is, watch out, because there are some dark clouds over the far point of stadium at the minute. They are looking, I'm not going to call it, I'm just going to say that there is a possibility. I'm not going to say there's a, oh, Emmerich Racing's just had a spin at the infield hairpin. Luckily enough, everyone else was able to avoid. Meanwhile, so Euro Lambo in the pits. So, I'm going to do my Tron reference here. So Flynn jumps out and Clue gets in. They are, from last round, Ben, I nicknamed them the Tron Boys because of the fact that you've got one in blue, one in red. Even though in Tron Legacy Clue is yellow. But it's the closest thing is, damn it. Oh, that's very close.
Back of Nick, obviously just come out of the pits. Unfortunately, as you come out of the pit lane at the moment, there's still a massive wet puddle coming onto the track. So unfortunately, all the boys, when they're first coming out of the pits, they've got wet tyres and cold tyres first on a lap and a half. So you're getting the people that are still on track gaining on quickly, and obviously that's what happened there with Emmerich, just giving a little love tap coming out of the stadium.
So these things happen, it's part of the racing in RHBK. So Euro Lambo did a 1 minute 49.5. Oh, a little bit slouchy there from the Tron brothers. Hope that doesn't come back to haunt me. But hey, you know what? We've got Rocky Balboa in the pit lane. We've got Flynn and Clue from Tron Legacy. What else can I come up with? Well, we've got Wayne's Sticky Cheeky Monkeys being the banana skin of all jokes in the minutes with that particular name. But at the moment, still helicopter services. When you don't talk about the leader, they're doing a pretty good job. So 14 seconds to the good in favour of them and Custom Rods, who now have DAD closing at around 1/10.5 to 2/10 of a second a lap. They just took 1/10.5 out of the number 2 last tour around. And just seeing that Artifex is... well, not just that, they're trying to get past HRS1. And HRS1 are actually a lap ahead. They're trying to unlap themselves to get themselves onto the lead lap. So HRS1 currently 4th. And Artifex, probably because of being held up on the last tour, maybe by back markers, did a 43.1. But they're still 2nd. They're in the hot seats. They're in prime position. But Zingray in the moment have also just taken 3.5 tenths out of Artifex on that last lap, and ahead of them looks like they've got BMH in 36. But I think this is the stage now. We're now nearly an hour and 10 minutes into the race. The drivers are now going to start getting that mental and physical fatigue setting in, and mistakes can happen. Hitting a curve too hard, not pressing the throttle down correctly. That's when the mistakes might possibly surface, but then at least some teams have now used their foresight and their strategy to go, right, we're going to pit now, need to get a full amount of fuel in, the car will get lighter and quicker as we go along. I think that's probably one of the key strategies for the top 3 in Clubman at the moment, would you say, Ben?
What, to do a long first stint, are we saying, or are we going?
I think it's a case of when they rate, you know, because they use radios here, and effectively when they say, look, how are you feeling? Saying the car's getting away from me, they might just say, right, it's my turn to pit.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you've got to be careful as well. You don't want to pit too early because, like you said, it's a long race, and technically, if you were to split everything perfectly down the middle, you'd have 3 stints of an hour 20, but you'll see a lot with the teams that they'll want to run the best drivers for longer, as long as they can, and that's when you do start getting potentially an issue with maybe somebody getting fatigued, and maybe just that split second of lack of concentration creeps in. You make a mistake, and all of a sudden, you know, you're not looking so pretty anymore. But right, just going back to that point you said about Mark earlier, he's had a couple of months out of the seat, and I can vouch from my own point of view, it does have a massive impact. It's amazing, really, how much you feel it when you first get back in the car again, and when you're not fully race fit after you've missed a couple of races. You know, after about the 45-minute, an hour mark, you're thinking, do you know what? I think I'm good now. So he'll be feeling it out there at the moment, 100%. He'll be feeling it.
I think the last time I saw Mark Beaumont get out of the car, he was absolutely cream-crackered. It just shows with the amount of passion that these drivers have to have that competitive edge. You know, okay, they're not going to get to where Hamilton is or where Vettel is, or to like the people in the WEC or, you know, top line touring cars, but they know how to push themselves. It's that mental barrier. You know, the physical is one thing, but the mental barrier itself is another factor as well, where the teams really think, well, you know what, he can go for it now. We know he can do it. He's proven it several times this year. Let's put him out first. It's our quickest peddler. Let's see what he can do in the first stint to really help our strategy throughout the course of the race.
That's it. I think it comes in waves as well. Like, again, from my own experience, sometimes you're out there and you think, yeah, about an hour and 20 is my limit today. Other times you can be out there for two and a bit hours and you feel absolutely fresh as the daisy still. And the thing I say about kart racing, especially this type of kart racing, where, you know, in the 4-hour races, and like I said earlier, the track's an absolute kart breaker. There's no suspension in karts, it's tyres, and then it's going through the driver's body. So this is far more physical than the majority of car racing out there. I mean, I've probably upset a few, you know, car racing drivers out there by saying it, but at the end of the day, karting is so brutal on the body. You know, except Formula 1 where the G-forces are so high and you've got the heat, you know, and all that to play with as well. It is one of the most physical forms of motorsport, without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you look at what the current drivers in Formula 1 have to contend with. You know, they're in Interlagos, it's humid. You know, they're in a carbon fibre chassis, which has layers and layers and layers of protection, but also that also generates heat. it can also capture heat. And when they're running with a turbocharger that's running nearly 1,000 degrees Celsius in the back part of that car, then you've got the V6 engine, which is also generating heat. You've then also got the hybrid energy recovery system. There's so much when they're losing like 5 to 8 kilos. And Interlagos is a brutal track. It's got high G-force. It's got very technical sections. So it's not just the machinery, it's also the driver that's got to be on point as well. And that's a very good point you make there, because physical conditioning in any type of sport, okay, yes, some of us do like our food a bit more than others, but they know that they can push themselves past that physical point of endurance where the body says no, but the brain says, you know what, Alex, or you know what, Ben, you've got another 15 minutes in you. Just go for it, see how you get on. So we've got another one going out the pits, and that is Helicopter Services. 1 minute 51.4 on their pit stop lap on that time. As we now...
It'll be John will be in the cart now, so it'll be interesting to see what Custom Rods now do, because technically they'll have the lead. And what will they do with the drivers? Will they stick Sam into the middle stint? Will they go with their two strongest drivers, try and eke out a bit of a gap, try and get ahead of Helicopter?
We've had our first black flag. Emmerich Racing advantage by contact on Too Many Pies. So first black flag. Oh, yes, advantage. Karting is meant to be a non-contact sport, and if it's advantage by contact, they've got another couple of laps. Well, they've just been given their second black flag warning, and if not, then they'll get pulled on the third time. They get pulled in the pits, and then it's a stop and go. It's a stop and hold penalty. And we had that with the visors last time around. I'm not really... What's the time now? Coming up to 20 to 3. It's looking very dark, especially coming into stadium. These clouds are moving over towards the railway line, just off pylon, and that's the third black flag warning. That's the second black flag warning for Emmerich Racing. They need to pull it on. They need to pull it in on this tour.
Like a complete boffin, but I think the wind direction has changed, because earlier on it was definitely blowing away from the circuit, but actually for a while now the clouds are actually blowing back towards this way. It's fluttering a bit back and forth, but the clouds are definitely coming more towards the circuit again, so it could be a chance of rain. But yeah, any drivers now going out, I'd strongly recommend you go out with a clear visor, because you don't want to be out there when the floodlights come on, because obviously you're going to get a penalty for it.
Yes, as several teams found out last month. GKD Racing have also pitted, it looks like. Yep, so the number 9 seed had that great battle with Spectre Racing at the end of the race last time out, last month. So we look to see how they get on. And Emmerich Racing have pitted. Looks like they're going to serve the black flag penalty, as there is actually a light on, Ben, at the where the weigh bridge is. So that's a sign, and it is getting dark, and I know that sunset was due to happen at around about, Ben. Yes, I was trying not to mention that fact, but yes, there is a 50% of chance of a weather incursion very, very soon, so in around 20 minutes. I think this race is going to get another twist in the cat's tail, so to speak.
Definitely. Yeah, the bearer of bad news would say that around 4 o'clock we've got 83% chance of rain, so good luck with that one, whoever's out at the end. That's going to be fun.
I think you're happy you're up here this time around, aren't you?
I was standing on the grid earlier, I was feeling a little bit chilly, and I said to Sam, I'm actually glad that I'm in the commentator's booth today, keep it nice and warm in here instead.
I think I definitely have an idea of what he probably might have been saying under his helmet when you said that to him. But it is what it is. It is racing. We race come rain or come shine, come hell or high water. And it looks like we've also had JRH Racing now in the pits as well.
Always a great team to watch in the pits, because their stops are normally always rapid, so it'll be interesting to see if they have a clean one today, because that's normally where they make up a lot of their time. They're not the quickest team, they're super consistent, kart prep is second to none, so see what they can do in the pits.
Couldn't agree with you more there, as Custom Rods are now in the lead, but DAD are 1.1 seconds adrift in second position. Then it's HRS1, Sticky Monkeys. Oh, yeah, so 1 minute 47. Emmerich Racing did a 2 minute 12, but obviously they had to serve the black flag penalty, so they have to cut the engines off as soon as they come in. GKD Racing now up into 15th position. Meanwhile, well, the Clubman battle for the championship win come the end of this race, Artifacts are looking very strong indeed. 6.5 seconds ahead of Zingray. Euro Lambo now past CSM Lambo for position. So Euro Lambo in the 22 now up into 10th place.
DAD on the back of, you can see Aaron White still out there for DAD at the moment. He's getting very, very close now to Custom Rods, so got a little bit of a battle coming up soon, I would imagine, between those two. It's ebbing and flowing a bit, very, very close for lap times, but I think Aaron's just got the edge on Mark at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out.
But then also, if all hell breaks loose very shortly, reference the weather, we could see a dynamic shift in the running order of things. You know when you have that feeling in your water, you know when you've got that gut instinct, you think, it doesn't look that great, but we're going to have to grin and bear it. And that's what all 27 teams commit themselves to, we've had as high as 36, which is a capacity grid. You know, we had sellouts last year in 2017. 2018, we've been running around the sort of like the average of about a 30 strong grid, you know, cumulatively speaking, per round. Okay, yes, we haven't got some of the usual suspects, the likes of Wix Racing, Spectre Racing not here, because obviously they've secured the title and they thought, you know what, we're going to enjoy one round off. I think they just thought, you know what, we got the title,
Have a rest, have a bit of time off, why not? Just come down and soak up the atmosphere instead. Done a great job this year, and can't congratulate those guys enough for what they achieved, and they did it fair and square on raw pace, great racing, and you know, at the end of the day, it was unfortunate what happened at the last round with Helicopter, but they kind of only have themselves to blame for that one, so it is what it is.
Yep, that's very, very true, Ben. Looks like March Racing now in the pits, as well as the number 34 of CSM Lambo. So CSM Lambo now fueling up. Oh, they're normally a little bit quicker than that, if I'm completely honest, running about normally the 1 minute 50s, 1 minute 51s, but they may just sort of like think, you know what, we're going to run our own race. We're not in any battles with anybody. We don't need to move forward like the clappers, like some teams are at the moment. Especially where you think that Artifacts, currently in 6th, are just 3.8 seconds behind Helicopter Services in 5th position. Yep, Helicopter have got a stop in hand, so they're now on the same lap as Artifacts Zingray.
Interesting, just looking at, obviously John's out there for Helicopter at the moment, his times were quite quick. I think I saw him clock a 42.0, so he's clearly got the pace in the car, but the last couple of laps he's been stuck in a bit of traffic. He can't really get past it, and he's doing 42.9s now, and obviously that would be like giving a piece of cake to Custom Rods and DAD. They'll be lapping that up, thinking that all that time they're gaining back on them now, obviously. And actually DAD have just taken the lead from Custom Rods.
Well, it was only a matter of time, so and they are line astern going through pylon at the minute, so 0.1 of a second between the two. Well, it's actually, I don't even think a cigarette paper, well, probably about 3 or 4 sheets of A4, or maybe even a cart length, as they're trying to get past the number 33 of Sticky Monkeys, who are now down in 4th position. And now it's just over a 10th and a half to the good for Custom Rods, for DAD ahead of Custom Rods. Now on to lap number 116. And I'm just trying to... Oh, Mark's gone side... Oh, there we go, side by side. Going through the outfield hairpin. Beaumont! Oh, that's a bit of a robust, cheeky move from our series coordinator.
I actually think Aaron hit the curb, he hit the inside curb, and it just pitched the car up. But Aaron actually got caught out at hairpin 1 by the back marker. Mark got the undercut, and then obviously they were side by side, Mark on the outside going into the hairpin too. Just did a beautiful cutback on him, and obviously Aaron hit that curb, unsettled the car. See you later.
Yeah, a bit of a la Nico Hulkenberg when he left Force India for Renault. at the tail end of 2017, and they both bumped the curbs quite vicariously through Reg's elbow. Now through the infield hairpin they go. Meanwhile, just keeping an eye on Euro Lambo at the moment. They're just on the main back straight with Nick Divers behind the wheel. They're currently circulating in 9th position. So it's toing and froing for the lead of the race at the minute, as we're fast approaching the completion of 90 minutes of this 4-hour extravaganza. So 240 minutes in total. I will need to have, I think both myself and Ben do need a deserved break at the halfway point. He's done it. I have to say, it's a credit to have you in the commentary box. Thanks to Nick Divers coming up in here as well, whilst Darrell was really showing good pace. And DAD already back on the offensive with custom rods, as they've got the number 36. It looks like a BMH just up in front. Oh, that's going to get very dicey going through pylon. Mark gets the inside run. Nice. Oh, BMH goes spinning and nearly takes out DAD. Yellow flags at pylon. BMH tried to avoid, hit the standing water puddle on the outside of pylon and nearly took DAD.
55 anyway, stuck in the ball there, because now obviously there's a lot of water on the track from, I think it was Stephen. Did his best to get out of the way, but also keep his foot in it, and obviously went straight through the big puddle there. Wasn't the best move.
As the number 37 rejoins, that is Team Irie. Also 2 minute 9.6 from the Clubman outfit on their pit stop lap, but that was very hairy indeed. I think DAD might have nearly been having kittens when BMH went spinning the wrong way.
I have to apologise from Stephen at BMH, because it wasn't him, so I take it all back. Sorry, mate.
Yes, the quickest of. Hopefully, he's not put you as a mark in his black book, Mr. Bishop. Let's just wait for the gesticulations from the pit lane, shall we?
Yeah, I think what's happened there is obviously with BMH just then, obviously they've gone through the standing water, and it shows you how sensitive these engines are sometimes to the water, because I think one may have conked out. So that's why the guy there, I'm not sure who their third driver is today, but he's obviously just come in because the engine's conked out. They've had to restart him and off he's gone. It's a shame really, because they maybe should have used that as an opportunity to do a drive change.
You're very right there. Of course, they're not turbocharged. They're normally aspirated engines with a carburettor and air filter normally at the front of these engines, and when one goes, yes, like you say, a lot of water in a rapid succession going into the air filter and into the carburettor ball normally.
In the pit lane, I think custom runs in the pits.
They're still certain. No,
custom runs are coming into hairpin 2 and DAD are at hairpin 1, so there's been some contact there.
No, that was because of DAD having to avoid BMH who spun out. So DAD, that's the good thing. You're pointing things out that I can't see at the moment, and I'm pointing things out that you can't see or haven't seen. So you now get an understanding of what it's like to be in the commentary box for a change. It's a whole different world.
Definitely different. Like qualifying was an absolute mad fest. I just don't know how you track it on your own normally, but especially in those conditions where you've got a wet track drying out, it's just madness every lap. Position changing left, right, and centre. But no, it's good fun.
Well, you should try having to commentate on 5 different categories with over 150 competitors combined. Each qualifying session 5 minutes, and that's in Europe. That's absolutely banzai, if you want to quote Japanese. Oh, contact warning for Artifacts there. So don't know what's happened there, but Zingray are about 9.5 seconds adrift. Sticky Monkeys now in the pits as well, so the 33 in. They're about to put some ballast on the cart as well. So in RHBK for those. Oh, custom rods in the pits. Custom rods in the pits. So DAD.
Come on, Sam. Come on, Sam. You can do it.
Come on, you can do it. I remember Rob Schneider from The Longest Yard. Come on, you can do it. Sorry. This is just where it's so nice to have someone else to bounce off as well, and someone who's well seasoned in regards to RHBK, running ABA racing, as not only the guy getting behind the wheel, but also the guy that's prepping the car, running operations, all that kind of stuff with you, Andrew and Piers. You know,
Andrew and Piers really are just glorified arrive and drive bandits. That's what I like to refer to them as, because, you know, I do all the hard work behind the scenes. Those boys just rock up. In Piers' case, he rocks up and sticks it on pole, so I'll forever love him for that. I'll never judge him.
but then you'll also curse and mutter under your breath when he breaks the chassis. Yeah, that one as well. As I think Burton Power Racing now in the pits, number 30. Yep, HRS1 in the number 13 also in the pits. So a lot of changes now happening. We're about to get to 90 minutes completed. Let's see what they do. 1 minute 58.2. I tell you what though, Custom Rods, great stop by them. 1 minute 44.4. That's the quickest of the day so far. So that puts them in. Well, actually, that's quite good because.
So we just wait a second. Helicopter coming into hairpin 2, and Custom Rods are at hairpin 1. So I'd say the gap has closed up a little bit between them, so now it's going to be interesting to see whether Sam's got a bit of extra pace over John. I will say John's been doing a cracking stint. His lap times have been spot on the money, so I think Sam's going to have to go some if he wants to bring in John today.
I couldn't agree more as I'm trying to attempt to fill up my drinks bottle. That's the other thing. Commentating is thirsty work, Mr. Bishop. As I explained to you earlier. Oh, Zingray Racing now in the pits. Zingray Racing now in the pits. The second of our... and let's just see who's going to be getting in for Zingray this time around. Wondering if it might be Graham's brother. I'm not too sure. Can't really make out because they normally have their... They've got some nice race overalls as well. They've got Zingray emblazoned on the back of them. So let's see what Zingray do as Max O'Shaughnessy gets out. No, Graham Cobb is not in any race overalls, so... oh, that's a very... Graham Cobb filling with the lead weights there, get the driver out. And that looks to be Graham's brother, I believe, behind the wheel, so... 1 minute 57.6, so a little bit of trouble with trying to get the lead weights on there. So they now resume in what looks to be 11th position at the minute. Helicopter Services trying to close on DAD, but DAD yet to stop. And I have to say, from having the brake dramas yesterday, waiting for parts to come in, then rebuilding the brake assembly on the number 24. No lap times being set yesterday in practice, but today they've now started to really come alive in the race. They started in 26th position. They're now leading as we're now into 90 minutes completed here at Rye House Pro Kart round number 8, final round of the season. And now leading Clubman, it's Artifacts. So after 90 minutes strong, Artifacts now leads the Clubman category. Sticky Monkeys in second, Zingray down in third, followed by Polish Lambo. Burton Power Racing rounding out the top 5. Top 5 overall, so to speak, in the super category. DAD leads by effectively 1 lap. Well, make that 51.5 seconds as Helicopter crosses the line. Custom Rods in third. Euro Lambo in fourth, but they're running 5th on the track itself as Artifacts completes another lap, 127. They are on the same lap as the leaders now. And rounding off the top 5 in Super, it's HRS1. Now, Ben, you know you said about it getting dark.
It's getting dark, isn't it?
It's getting really, really grey and cloudy here at Rye House. I'm so glad I bought my waterproof jacket with me. So when we go to a bit of a halfway break here on the Mixler feed, the downforce feed.
Universal Racing are back in pits with more drums, so it's not going well for those guys, unfortunately.
Repeats of last month, I'm sad to say, as DAD pits from the lead. And now it's a battle resumption between Helicopter Services and Custom Rods. Gap now between the pair is 7.6 seconds as Jordan Beamish from Too Many Pies, or Junior Pie as I've now nicknamed him, in the number 46 gets out on track. KA Racing now up into 24th after that was a 2 minute 10. Okay, Too Many Pies had a 3 minute 2, so they might have had an issue maybe at some point. That's the one thing that we've had another concept. Artifacts, naughty, naughty. Another contact warning. It's their second one of the meet, so at the moment we've had 4 contact warnings, 2 for one particular team. Artifacts currently in 3rd position now, and they're still on the same lap as the leaders. Polish Lambo version 2 in about 3 laps time will overtake Universal Racing for what is 26th position. Helicopter services complete another lap, 42.192 from the outgoing number 1 Cs from this season. And custom rods, 42.613.
John's pace is mega. I mean, he's the quickest man out on track at the moment. So yeah, Helicopter obviously got the car set up really well today. As always, for those guys, they're relentless every month, always rapid. But John he's absolutely flying. So he must have had his Weetabix this morning, I reckon, because he's on it, isn't he?
Well, I think hopefully this is ready, Breck, with the way that the weather's coming in at the moment. Need something warm to keep you going. But of course, that's going to be the least of drivers' concerns, as we now have Artifacts have pitted. Artifacts have pitted from the Clubman lead. They're now refueling, so let's see how good their stop is. So automatically that promotes Lambo Racing. Wayne's Cheeky Monkeys looks to be GKD in just about 20 or so seconds time. So Artifacts now dropped to 9th. Oh, nice stop by Artifacts. 1 minute 45.9. That is very, very close to what Custom Rods did a bit earlier on in this race.
Yeah, that's a really, really good pit stop, to be fair. I'm just looking at that cloud over there above Stadium, and that is looking nasty. That is looking really nasty. So
I think I have something to say. And I said that we'd be doing something in this broadcast. Oh, thank you, Race Control. 15 minutes ago I was told probably going to need floodlights for the last hour. So the last hour of the race. So tinted visor watch is on standby, ladies and gentlemen. But for the benefit of Wayne Edwards, I think with the way that the weather's coming in, because I'm running, I've got three hotspot connections, which includes this, includes my iPad. But Wayne, I thought, well, looks like we've had another change. HP Racing in front of Team Irie also. Have to give a good Sticky Diggy himself, Richard Hawcutt. Hope you're keeping well, buddy. Sticky Monkeys pole. The commentary live was absolutely mesmerising. That definitely deserves a like. Yes, we've got the George Michael Brigade on the back of Wayne's Cheeky Monkeys. We've also got Laurel and Hardy on the back of Euro Lambo. So let's just have a look. Oh, I found it. Now this is, I'm going to wait for it to play, and then I will play it, because it's quite funny. As CSM Lambo get past Burton Power Racing. That basically means Wayne Edwards. I think the weather's coming in, and it is coming in thick and fast. Just look how grey those clouds are looking heading into Stadium. Oh, that's we're now at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, GMT. So if you're listening in Europe, you're an hour ahead. Good afternoon. If you're in the US listening to us, good morning. Or even if you're in Japan or in Asia, you're going to be at least 7 to 12 hours ahead of us. So if you're in Australia, g'day. And hopefully you've got your barbecues up and raring. as we have had earlier on today, thanks to the guys at the Lambo crew. So,
just another shout out for Euro Lambo, whose pace is absolutely awesome still. Like Nick Diver's out there at the moment, he's doing an absolutely mega job, really quick times. Actually slightly quicker than Sam Reed at the moment, so on that last lap anyway, but his pace is literally matching the top 2 guys in front of him, Helicopter and Custom Rod. So whatever Euro Lambo have done to the karts today is working, because they're absolutely flying, and it's really, really great to see those boys having a good race.
well, I did say that they've got Stan and Ollie on the back on the 2 engines. Well, they are powered by Monkey Force. So it seems like the monkeys are definitely swinging to every single team that they can find and get on board, because, as I said, I was speaking to Joe Epwine a bit earlier on. Joe, who's a big Ayrton Senna fan, judging by the fact he's got Ayrton's signature on the front nose cone of his Focus out there, and has also got something in Brazilian, Portuguese. And he was wearing the Senna fleece top as well, and he just said they take a little bit of time to start up, and they're starting them up at around about sort of 1500 to 1600 RPM to get them, you know. But then once the Monkey Force engines get into their stride, which they are quite clearly doing here, because we also have UFOs and engine supplier as well through our HPK, but they sound a little bit throaty when they try and warm up, because obviously you've got the fuel trying to get through into the cylinder, you've got the oil trying to come up from the sump, and when it's quite cold, the viscosity is also not making it easy to start the engines up. But when they're coming out of the corners, that's why Nick and Daryl are flying, because they've got those Monkey Force engines on the back of that car. Also, Wayne's Cheeky Monkeys also have Monkey Motorsport engines on the back of them, so they're also showing good pace. You know, they're running in the 42.9s at the minute. Earlier stint it was a 41.9 is their best lap.
But you also got to say, I mean, all the engine builders do a great job. I know there's been a little bit of a sticky point earlier in the year with a certain engine builder that, you know, I don't think through any deliberate kind of actions, but unfortunately there was a few issues. But let's not forget people like UFO Richard, who's here every single round, supported this championship for years and years, and he does an absolutely amazing job. Helicopter Services have won this championship numerous amounts of times. Spectre have won it this year on UFO engines, and you've got JRH, who are battling for that third place, also on UFO engines. So yeah, Monkeys are doing a great job, and you know, they're getting their engines out there. The UFO and RPM are obviously still leading the way as well. So I think it's great to have another engine builder in the mix, and obviously causing a few headaches. And I just think for the teams, it's nice because you can kind of have a few different options. You're not limited to 1 or 2 different engine builders out there.
I mean, when you think about it, it's great to see that different sort of parity between power plants, you know, from what RPM bring, from what UFO bring, and now with the Monkey guys, you know, with Bry Heller and Peter and that group. You know, it's like when Bry showed me the back of his t-shirt saying "Chimp, you'll ride." I mean, it was just like, all of a sudden I thought, hang on, there's an orangutan version of Exhibit probably coming through into the shop round about now with dreads and sneakers and bling bling and all that kind of stuff, you know, as Polish Lambo are now ahead of Stingray Racing. The battle for the championship in Clubman is well and truly on, but leading it is Artifacts in 9th position on 139 laps, soon to be 140. They're around halfway round the lap as I speak. But this really is now showing that we're going to have a break at the halfway point. I think Ben and I have been talking enough for the first couple of hours. It's nice to always get a break. But so far it's been, you know what, Ben, if you just come and have a look outside of the window.
It's looking very dodgy, it's looking very, very dark, so this could completely throw strategy all up in the air. If those clouds open up, then it's going to be good fun in the pit lane, that's for sure.
Yes, with Furious Activity reference putting on wet tyres, that looks to be a more than likely an inevitability that is going to happen. Oh, we've got one off. That's the number 26. That is Wayne's Cheeky Monkeys. So Lee might have just had a bit of a moment coming out of Bridges' elbow, which put him wide, and he's just put his hand up. So just wondering whether there isn't, I'm not too sure whether there might be an issue. Oh, he's actually put his hand up, just letting people pass. I think there is an issue for the 26 there. That looks to be the case, would you say, Ben?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, it looks like he's coming into the pit zone, so there must be a problem. I'm not sure. I didn't see the start of what happened there, but obviously he was off at Reg's elbow, so it would indicate maybe a steering, maybe some sort of steering problem. Because obviously Lee was all over the grass there, and that's not normally something you'd see him doing. That's for sure.
Especially with the fact he's been running in supers, and he's been running with some of the top teams here in RHPK over recent times. So Nick Divers in Euro Lambo gets let past by Polish Lambo version 2, who are still circulating. They've completed 122 laps of Polish Lambo version 2, currently in 20th position, as Wayne's Cheeky Monkey's back in the pits. That's an unforeseen stop there for number 26. So they're working on it at the moment. That's probably going to go up on the trolley jacks, I think.
Point out, I've had a little bit of a message come through. Euro Lambo are actually back on UFO engines today, so they are running UFO engines right now.
So no Stan and Ollie at the back of the Euro Lambo, it's UFO all the way. Hopefully we don't see any flying saucers fly out of the back of that. Oh, there looks like they've got them back underway, so it looks like they've got the issue sorted out pretty quickly. So just firing up both banks. Lee gets back out on track. So 2 hours 15 minutes remaining in this final round as the clouds are closing in quite quickly, I might add. Time now has just gone 7 minutes past 3 in the afternoon. Oh well, it's, yeah, I think my weather app has just changed to reflect your weather app, saying 70% chance of rain at just before sunset. But also, another reminder to the teams, we'll probably be running floodlights for the last hour of the race, so tinted visors. You need to keep your eyes on tinted visors. 2 or 3 teams got black flags in the last race, so no tinted visors will be allowed when the floodlights come on, but I have seen a couple of lights come on. Oh well, that's actually very, very true, race control. They've said that they may have to put them on earlier if the cloud cover comes across, and I think they're definitely right. That's looking very dicey going towards stadium, because on the main entrance, oh, we've had 2 off.
Pylon, so water all over pylon, so if I was any teams on the comms right now, and tell all your drivers there is a ton of water through pylon bend, so tread carefully through there, because we could see if your helicopter are going through it now. They through it all right? Oh, just about got through there. It's, yeah, okay, we're doing all right. Somebody else in the wall.
Yellow flags at pylon. Oh, yeah, that's 2.
In the wall. Sam Reed is off, got taken out. Hit by a back marker. So, yeah.
Well, Sam also had to take avoiding action and clobbered the left side of the car with the wall. Looks like the steering still seems to be tracking true at the minute, but that will be...
I don't think it was anything, I don't think it was a big impact, it was just a little brush, but it was enough to lose him a bit of time, which is unfortunate, because he was doing a great job of just picking that gap with the helicopter.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, for those listening at home via mixler.com/Ryhouse or Downforce UK, the clouds are enveloping the circuit at a rate of knots. I think we are going to have rainfall before 4 o'clock this afternoon. I think the floodlights will be coming on imminently, and that means tinted visors will be on the marshal's eyeballs. There are some drivers that are circulating. Ben, just look how quickly it's over there. It's over by the river as well, by the multi-storey car park, just from the back part of the commentary position. This is where it's really going to kick off. I think these floodlights are going to be on imminently. I really have a think. I have a thought that within the next 15 minutes, these floodlights will be on. Oh, there we go. First light. Oh, yeah, I've just seen the first one. It's just popped on the start-finish straight. So these lights are going to start coming on. We are going to have... And as I say that, I put the light on in the commentary box. That's better.
Yeah, now I can see what I'm doing. No, it's all good. No, definitely you made the right call there. I would say race control really don't have much option. They've got to bring the floodlights on pretty sharp, all of them, because it's getting so dark now, and I think that just is showing the threat of rain is getting ever closer as well, because those clouds are looking a little bit heavy. So I'd be a bit worried if I was out there at the moment about making any pit stops anytime soon. At this point, I would hold out for as long as possible to see whether what's coming, and if we can hold out a bit further towards the end of the race, I'd be more inclined to do that, so that we can make the driver change and a tyre change if needed all in one go, which again can completely change the results of the race at the moment.
That's very true. I mean, when you think about it, that could probably at least double the pit stop lap time. And I think they are signalling to teams. The floodlights are on. The floodlights are coming on just over the exit of Stadium Bend. I've just seen another one come on. They will be coming on as they can, because what they don't want to do is overload the local power grid whilst doing so. So it will be periodic as it happens. So floodlights now will envelop the track as massive. Oh, off into the barriers. That looks like Zingray. Zingray, I think, might have just hit the barriers. That was massive amount of water, and there's one trying to recover on the exit of pylon. This is going to be absolute carnage right about now. The rain's coming. The rain is coming. The rain is coming down right now. It's going to absolutely bucket down. Yellow's into stadium. Yellow's into stadium. And we've got Euro Lambo off as well. Nick Divers off as well. My goodness, these lights are coming on. The rain is now going to intensify incredibly hard. It is absolutely bucketing it down, and it is only just gone 3:10. This is really going to change the dynamic. Everyone is going to switch to wets. This is this is getting so dicey. People are going to have to tiptoe over. Sam Reed having to tiptoe very carefully in the number 2 of Custom Rods. What a dramatic turn for this race. Burton Power in the pits. JRH in the pits. Everyone's going to have... There is going to be an absolute cavalcade of drivers coming into the pits. They're putting there now. There we go. Burton Power changing onto wets.
Obviously, we're in the commentary booth here, so you can't tell how hard it's raining. Looking out, you can see it's raining. It doesn't look that heavy. I would kind of be at this stage still thinking, oh, maybe another couple of laps, because we don't know, is it going to stop? But the clouds just look so bad. I think it's going to go full wets, isn't it? You've got it, I think. Helicopters are still out there, and so are Custom Rods. So if you're a front-running team at the moment, I think you've got any other option but to carry on going.
Nearly had it away there on the did helicopter services. Number 7 of Euro Lambo Racing still out. HRS1 still out. The rain is actually coming from behind our commentary position. So it's actually from behind where Ben and I are standing up in the commentary box, and it is starting to come down. Teams, I think it is. Yes, Ben. This is a wet track. This is going to be declared a wet track.
Watch out! Watch out!
Track damp, according to live.alphatiming.co.uk/Rye.
So Custom Rods, I think they're in. Or helicopter got in.
Polish Lambo, yeah.
I think Custom Rods got in. Helicopter. That could be a real big moment in the race right there.
That is a game changer. Polish Lambo furiously working on the number 64 to get their tyres changed. This is really, we felt it was going to come. It is coming. I know that the marshals are going to have a lot of work ahead of them when we go back to, well, I mean, effectively it's a damp track. I think the meeting will be declared wet in the next few moments or so, as looks like the 37 is now back on its wheels. That's Team Ari also.
First team back out on the track on wets with them, so it's great stuff for those boys to be the first one back out on the wet tyres.
That was a 3:30. So 3:36 from Team Ari also. Custom Rods. Let's see what they're lapped. 2:44. That was an absolute blinder from the number 2 of Custom Rods. But ladies and gentlemen, for those listening at home, The weather has come into play. It is now a wet or damp track. Air temperature.
Yeah, coming back out now, see what kind of stop time they had. What's that?
3 minute 59.8, nearly 4 minutes. That is. I think that is an eternity.
Right now, I cannot even see helicopter services even in the pit lane. They must be.
They are now because it's showing 0 on the gap, so they've opted to pit. Artifacts are also in the pits.
That could have literally destroyed the race. They were one of the last pits. Coming down the pit lane now, so John will be going back out in a minute to see what the time is. So many carts all over the pit lane and people can't get through.
Meanwhile, contact warning for HRS1, DAD 3 minutes 16. Custom rods pull that. You know what they've just got? They've got themselves a 30-second advantage over helicopter services through that pit stop alone. And that, as you say, could be that deciding moment. Yeah.
The great pit stop and is Lambo in the lead? I don't know. Who is actually showing Lambo, isn't it? Okay, custom rods at the moment.
Euro Lambo have now pitted after Nick Diver's impromptu excursion coming out of Reg's elbow when the rain started to hit.
And I stand corrected on the engine front. They are running monkeys, Euro Lambo. So that's me getting my engine builders wrong.
Well, it's quite. Look, these things happen. Even commentators make mistakes. I know I've done plenty of them over the last 2 years. But yeah, they had the UFO engines on their backbench. So Joe was going to say, well, I'm going to fire the monkey ones up. Now this is incredibly dark. All I'm going to say is 2 magic words. One beginning with T, one beginning with V. Tinted visors. Sorry, just had to. I did that last time. I went, if anyone wants a black flag from a, what was it, a tinted visor sandwich, you're going to get one.
Lambo leading the race. Amazing for them. And also you've got HRS second at the moment. Then custom rods. Sam is looking pretty quick. To be fair, the front three are all looking quick at the moment. It's hard to tell because they're getting quicker and quicker each lap.
You know, well, in the commentary box, it's just rocked up. Yes, I know, Mr. Mark Beaumont. Sorry, Lambo Racing now in the pits, but a very, very, hopefully, partially rehydrated Mark Beaumont joins us in the commentary box. One of the guys behind the wheel of the number 2 custom rods, but also our series coordinator Mark. I said to Ben at the beginning of this broadcast that we can throw the script out on this one. I think we were definitely right, weren't we?
It's been the most eventful 5 minutes, I think, of the whole year. It's just been everyone's poured into the pits to change to wet tyres. So I think it's the rain's here, probably to the end of the race now. I think it's the right decision, 100%. It's just not going to dry out. Yeah, some of the people choosing to stay out a little bit longer, but I think they're going to be kind of penalised towards the end.
Well, especially with those with tinted visors on them as well, because I just mentioned that as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's no one should be using the tinted visor now. I think everyone kind of come in for that. So, but yeah, it's been an eventful race, especially at the start.
All I'm going to say is, in Grey Racing, you better pull your driver in, because I think that driver's wearing a tinted visor. So there are drivers that will get black flags. So if there are still drivers out with tinted visors, you're going to have to really. So several drivers, I think I've spotted 3 to 5 drivers maybe with tinted visors, one of which is Zingray.
March Racing, so March boys, get your driver in March, because he's definitely running a tinted visor at the moment.
Oh, Zingray are fine. Thank you for pointing that out, Mark. Mark's been the man that's been championing RHBK over the years, and has done a fantastic job keeping this series going. GKD Racing in the pits, BMH in the pits, and in about 3 minutes time we're going to go to a half-time break. I've got a little playlist organised. So I've got one that will last for 6 minutes, so I think probably 6 minutes will be good enough for a half-time break when you say, Ben. I think we need to have a little bit of a rest. It's difficult work in the commentary box, and that's why, for those listening at home, that's why, you know, we wanted to keep as you all entertained for this. I had someone actually post on there, what's the point in having an audio stream for a live kart race? That's the first one I've ever seen. But we try and do what we can. You know, we want to give insight to people that haven't heard of RHBK. We want more teams coming in. We want new drivers joining what's a great championship. But with just over 2 hours to go, we're about to hit the halfway point. Running order is as follows. Custom Rods lead by 23.7 seconds ahead of two-time champions who are no longer defending their crown. Helicopter Services, JRH in third. Lambo Racing fourth. Massive off. That's a bit of an off there for. That's a wheel off. That's a wheel off. Left front wheel. That's one of the wet tyres. That's real bad luck for JRH there. No, he can't turn. He can do right turn, but not left turn. And when he went left, the back end snapped out. So JRH now compromised by having a loose left front wheel. That's a real disaster. And the number 5 running as high as third position. Lambo Racing now will inherit third place. Behind them will be DAD, Euro Lambo, HRS1, Artifacts currently leading Clubman at the minute. March Racing, Sticky Monkeys ran out the top 10. GKD. Has he got back out on track? Well, rather than having it stuck in 6th gear, he's trying to do it with three out of 4 wheels. Oh no! Oh, he's kept it. He's kept it. I think that has to be moment of the year. Absolute.
The amount of skill that has just gone into that. I think Spectre should be disqualified from the championship, and JRH should be given a just that move alone from Elliot. That was epic.
That's absolute. I have to hold my hands up to tip my hat to him. So now that's brilliant. I think it's been great so far. Very entertaining. Zingray Monkeys up into 11th behind Sticky Monkeys, Wayne's Cheeky Monkeys in 12th head, Polish Lambo, CSM Lambo, GKD Racing, Team Ari also, HP Racing, Burton Power Racing, Pelham Racing, with Emmerich Racing rounding out the top 20. BMH in 21st, KO Racing 22nd, KA Racing 23rd, Silverline Racing 24th. Too Many Pies, Polish Lambo version 2, and Universal Racing round out the 27 strong. We're going to go to a brief break, both on the Mixler stream, but also on the Downforce UK network. So I'll be back, hopefully with Ben Bishop rejoining me for a little bit longer. You're going to have to make a move. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for your insight, and who knows, depending on what happens in 2019, maybe we'll see you get picked back up here again.
I'm sure I'll be about at some point.
Thank you for your insight today, Ben. Really appreciate it. So, Ben Bishop, ABA Racing, also one of the founders of Custom Raceware, providing some great quality equipment that is used by some of the teams here in RHBK. Ben, it's been a pleasure. Safe travels home. And if you do go onto his personal profile, his daughter has a great sense of timing when it comes to her tune being dropped. That's all I'm saying. You need to see it to believe it. But there we go. That's it for the first half of the race. I'll be back momentarily to continue the coverage of the final round of the 2018 Rye House Pro Kart Series at a very, very soggy Rye House Kart Raceway. Back in a few moments. Rye House Kart Raceway, and the heavens around half an hour ago completely obliterated what was going to change to be an exciting race, and now it's got a new dimension altogether with the weather heavily steeped in. It is a very wet track. We've had multiple drivers opting to go in. I have to say, what a great save from what was it, the number 5 of JRH Racing, who are now back circulating, having lost their left front wheel, and they now are back in 18th position. So at the moment, with the general order of things still going on, we still have over 1 hour and 52 minutes of this race left to go. The rain is, I've just quickly nipped out for a quick break and just found out that it is quite literally pouring down on the track itself. 950 metres here at Rye House Kart Raceway, but it is still not over yet. We still have a lot more to come over the next hour and 50 minutes. We'll also be broadcasting the end of season presentations live from the cafe area just after 6 o'clock this evening. So now the strategies have all changed. Lower lap times, so we're running in the 51s in some cases, with the likes of Wayne's Cheeky Monkeys, who've just taken over 3 seconds out of March Racing on that last tour alone. And in terms of the lap times at the moment, Helicopter Service is running on a 51.7, Lambo Racing on a 51.4. Sorry, I'm just opening up a drinks bottle at the minute, so if you can hear a little bit of hissing in the background, my apologies. There we go, that's better. So now the water is quite literally entrenched all over the circuit. HRS1 have also come under the scrutiny of the marshalling team. They now have a contact warning to their black mark book on this final round of the championship. 1 hour 50 minutes to go. Running order is as follows, as March Racing looks to have pitted. They're now taking on fuel. So as soon as the carts come into pit lane, it is switch both banks off after refueling, push the cart all the way down under the limbo bar over to the end of the pre-grid, and normally a driver change will be effected. Both banks will be fired up and they will then roar out of the pits. So I'll just see how March Racing do on this particular. Racing do a 2-minute 3.7. Nice work by the 57 crew. A little bit. So in terms of the top 5 at the minute, Custom Rods lead by 21.1 seconds, but Custom Rods are having their lead eked into. Well, it was 21.1. It's now 22.1 in their favour, ahead of Helicopter Services in the number 1. Lambo Racing round out the top 3 with HRS1 and also Euro Lambo completing the top 5. So that's numbers 2, 1, 7, 13 and 22. Artifacts at the moment leading the way. They came in leading the championship standings on the RHBK website. So we're broadcasting over multiple mediums this time around. So via the Downforce UK Facebook page, via the Downforce UK social network. So I'm just going to try and do some quick calculations, thanks to the wonders of modern technology. So for more information about Rye House Pro Karting, it's rhbk.co.uk. Spectre Racing not opting to compete in this round, having secured the championship last time out in October. So the battle between the likes of Helicopter Services, JRH Racing and Euro Lambo, there's a spread of around 22 points But then when you look a little bit further back, Euro Lambo currently circulating in 5th position. That'll put them on 40 points. DAD in 5th on 262. Lambo Racing 259. GKD Racing in 7th on 258. And then Polish Lambo version 2, who unfortunately are in 26th position. We're in the hunt coming into this round in terms of 4th place in the overall standings. Meanwhile, at the minute, Artifex well, as it stands at the moment, based on their dropped scores, Artifex are on 366 as a live total, as the rain is still coming down, as their driver's going sideways, which includes Sam in the number 2 for Custom Rods, number 7 of Euro Lambo, number 7 of Lambo Racing, a couple of laps down. So 366 at the moment for Artifex. Polish Lambo were level on points with Zingray, and if things were to finish as they are, they'd be on 356. Zingray, a further couple of positions drift, puts them on 352. So at the moment, Artifex are in prime position. They have a 10-point advantage at this particular moment. 1 hour and 46 minutes to go here at Rye House. The rain still continues to fall down. 8 degrees air temperature. The floodlights are on because of the rapid progression of the grey clouds that were hovering over the circuit for a good hour or so. Definitely came in as the wind changed directions and pushed it towards the circuit. So now the driver's really having to fight with the karts a little bit more, as the karts will feel a bit more unsettled under braking. A little bit wide there from HP, coming out of Reggie's elbow and into the first of the 2 hairpins, the infield hairpin here at Rye House.
Recording or not?
If I didn't keep these. Things that happen throughout the year, isn't it? Are they essentially make a move?
No, boys, I'm going to go.
Fucking run.
Dad, are you proud?
Very proud. Don't be proud this year, Lambo boys.
Lambo everywhere.
I'll go home with Greg.
This is great for me.